Are you new to PS Plus Extra or Premium? Or are you just considering an upgrade? If you're wondering what games are worth checking out beyond the usual Sony exclusives, here's a list of 25 to kick off your expanded library. Cult of the Lamb. This is one of the weirdest ideas for a game I've seen in a long time. You're a little lamb that gets sacrificed and then becomes an envoy for an evil entity who wants you to build a cult for him and take on the ones that imprisoned him. It has random dungeons, base building, unlockables, and some great DLC. It has a mix of charming art and dark humor. It's easily one of the most uniquely twisted games I've ever played. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is by far one of the most popular RPGs of all time, and it's massive. You play as Geralt, starting on a quest to find Yennefer, which leads you across the world in search of Ciri as you face off against legendary monsters and the infamous Wild Hunt. You could easily spend hundreds of hours in this epic game, and the upgraded PS5 version makes it look even better. And if somehow the core game isn't long enough, the DLC is just as good. Mortal Shell Enhanced Edition. This game brings that Souls-like difficulty with a bit of a different twist. You inhabit the shells of fallen warriors, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. It's set in a dark, mysterious world where you'll face brutal enemies and unforgiving challenges, honing your skills to survive. It's an intense experience, perfect for fans of dark, combat-focused RPGs. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Originally released on the PSP, this remaster is one of the best Final Fantasy games to come out in years. It adds so much context to the world of Final Fantasy VII, and it lets you experience Zack's journey, with a great combat system and moments that reveal Sephiroth's turn from hero to villain. With the updated visuals and combat, it is a great prequel that really does justice to the Final Fantasy name. Ghost Hunter, one of my favorite PS2 games, and it was a random purchase, but it turned out to be such a surprise. It feels like a Ghostbusters adventure. You play as a cop, investigating a building, and when things go wrong, you end up unleashing ghosts upon the world. When all the ghosts are released, you are bonded with Astral, a spirit who lets you see and fight other ghosts. While the controls haven't aged that great, it's still worth playing for its unique ghost hunting gameplay and story. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, a massive RPG where you experience the iconic Dragon Ball Z saga as Gohan, Goku, and more. It's broken down into levels where you can fly around collecting items and XP. You can fish, hook, and fight your way through the epic story. The game really does capture that Dragon Ball Z world, giving fans a chance to live out their favorite moments. The Assassin's Creed franchise. So chances are you've played at least one of them. But on PS Plus Extra, you got access to almost all of them, even the 2D side-scrollers. So whether you prefer the classics or the open-world style of the newer games, there's something here for everybody. If you're going for the new games, I suggest Odyssey or Origins. If you want the old-school feel, I would say the Ezio Collection or Black Flag. Trials Rising. This game is tough, but it is addictive. It's essentially a platformer, but it's physics-based and on motorcycles. It has a lot of challenging courses and fun to be had, whether you play it solo or co-op. And failing is actually part of the fun, thanks to the ragdoll effects. Just try not to get so mad that you end up smashing your controller. With worldwide leaderboards, there's always a reason to come back and try and improve your times too. Tales of Arise is an incredible story of two individuals from different worlds joining forces to overthrow an oppressive regime. It has fluid combat and just incredible visuals and art style. I cannot recommend this game enough. The Tales franchise has become easily one of the best RPG series out there, and Tales of Arise is probably a top 5 entry in that series. Tales of Asparia. You play as Yori Lowell, a former Imperial Knight on an epic journey to restore balance to the world. This was originally exclusive to Xbox 360, but it finally came to PlayStation, and it is one of the last in the series with that classic fixed camera. Plus it has a wolf dog with an eye patch and a pipe. What more could you want in an RPG? Dead Island 2. Now, I had little faith in this game considering how long it was in development, but it turned out to be one of my favorite zombie games. It has the most brutal zombie dismemberment system I have ever seen, and the weapons are as creative as they were in the first games. LA is just sun-drenched, and it's one of the best looking games I've played, and it's even better when you play it with friends. Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. These are two of the best looking and most fun games you can play. The replay value is just off the charts. Whether you're speed running, aiming for infinite ammo, or trying to earn that platinum trophy, together these two games cover the Raccoon City saga. And if you're looking to jump into Resident Evil without dealing with the old controls, this is where to start. Capcom just needs to let us turn off that chromatic aberration. And I just released a video called the Raccoon City 6 you might want to watch. It covers the entire timeline of Resident Evil 2 and 3. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Now, I put this game on the list because I had a great time with it. It's made by Team Ninja and it's a prequel to the original Final Fantasy. And it's very similar to Neo, but not as hardcore. The levels are inspired by the iconic Final Fantasy locations like the Fire Cavern from Final Fantasy VIII. And they even have remixed music from some of those areas. Now, it's not the best game, but it's a unique celebration of what Final Fantasy is. Pursuit Force. If you're in the mood for some high-speed chases and some non-stop action, Pursuit Force is a PSP game that is a perfect choice. This game puts you in the role of a cop taking down crime syndicates across the city. You'll be speeding down highways, leaping from car to car, making your way through. Think of the vehicle segments in Uncharted 4. It's very similar. The gameplay is intense. With everything from car chases to shootout, it's a unique arcade style experience that holds up, and it's another great platinum to add to your collection. Dino Crisis. Think Resident Evil with dinosaurs. This game was way ahead of its time, with dinosaurs that chase you through doors and track you if you're bleeding. It keeps you on your toes the whole time. It even has random events that constantly surprise you. It's always been one of my favorite PS1 games, and I'm surprised by how good it looks with Sony's emulation, which seems to be improving every single month. Kenna Bridge of Spirits. This beautiful animated game combines exploration, puzzle solving, and combat as you journey with Kenna, a spirit guide helping trapped souls find peace. The world is lush and vibrant with stunning environments and a story that is full of emotion and adventure. You're accompanied by these little creatures that assist you in combat and puzzles. Kenna's journey is heartwarming and also challenging. Don't be fooled by the game's art style. Combat can be surprisingly tough, especially on the higher difficulty levels. And the new Game Plus mode adds even more replayability for those looking to test their skills. Maneater. This game is just pure fun. You play as a shark, eating anything in your path to level up and become the ultimate predator. The story is told in the style of a reality TV show like Swamp People, adding a humorous twist to the chaos. It's one of those games that you can relax with, just wreaking havoc as you go. And as you progress, you can unlock crazy upgrades like poison and electricity, making your shark even more deadly. And it's also another great game for trophy hunters because its platinum is rewarding without it being too heavy of a grind. Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. This is a wild, crazy FPS to play. It has over-the-top combat that rewards creativity. The Full Clip Edition even lets you play as Duke Nukem, adding even more personality to the action. The game has a skill shot scoring system that rewards you for inventive kills, and you can use points to upgrade your gear. It's fun and it's a bit short, but it's perfect if you're looking for a quick yet memorable shooter. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Created by Koji Igarashi, the mind behind Castlevania's Symphony of the Night. This Metroidvania is a love letter to fans of the classic action platformers. You play as Miriam, an orphan cursed by alchemy, who must battle through a demonic castle to save humanity. The game combines RPG elements with exploration, allowing you to level up, gather loot, unlock powerful abilities, and navigate these intricate environments and face off against massive bosses. It has tons of weapons and secrets to uncover in its gothic-inspired atmosphere. Bloodstained captures the essence of what Castlevania was. Vampire. Set in 1918 London, Vampire is a dark, atmospheric RPG where you play as Dr. Jonathan Reed, who has been turned into a vampire. Between his oath to heal and his new thirst for blood, every choice you make impacts the story and the city around you. You can either feed on patience to grow stronger or resist the temptation to help the city stay safe. Each path comes with its own challenges and rewards. The game has a unique morality system. If you're looking for an RPG that's a bit different, this one is worth checking out. Scarlet Nexus, an action RPG that mixes fast-paced combat with telekinetic abilities. It takes place in a futuristic world where you join the OSF, the Other Suppression Force, to protect humanity from mysterious creatures called Others. You have 2 characters to play as, Yuito and Kasane. Each have their own storyline, unique powers, and twists, so playing both is essential to get the full story. It has a dark sci-fi narrative, and the combat lets you unleash powers like fire or electricity borrowed from teammates, making every battle dynamic and strategic. Remnant II. This is one of the most fun co-op shooters to come out in years, going even further than the first game did. The special weapons from bosses are destructive and extremely satisfying to use against the Root. And like the first game, it's not easy. It's basically Dark Souls with guns. Some of the worlds are just incredible. My favorite is of course the world of the Fae. It is a Bloodborne inspired nightmare, and it's incredible. If you haven't played Remnant II yet, this is definitely one to try out. Proteus. This is one of the most unique first-person shooters out there. It is inspired by classics like Doom. It takes fast-paced combat and a unique art style that mixes pixelation with real-time lighting and effects. This isn't just retro for nostalgia's sake. The visuals are customizable, and you get some features like screen space reflections that you can even turn off, which is rarely seen on consoles. It has great level design and endless replayability through community maps. It's great for anyone that wants a classic style shooter. Monster Hunter Rise. If you have never played a Monster Hunter game before, this is a great one to start with. It was originally released for the Switch, and now it's been optimized for 120 FPS and high resolution. But this game needs to come with a warning. These games are addictive. The loop of hunting, upgrading gear, and taking on tougher monsters digs its claws in deep. Judgement is a detective thriller set in the Yakuza universe. It combines the classic street fighting action of Yakuza with investigative gameplay. You are a disgraced lawyer that turns into a private detective, and you gotta unravel these complex cases filled with conspiracies, crime syndicates, and some high stakes drama. The game is packed with side activities and minigames, and optional cases that will keep you busy. And the combat is just as good as it is in the Yakuza games. There you have it. 25 games on PS Plus Extra and Premium to check out. There's definitely something here for everyone, and if you have the internet for it, you can even dive into some PS3 era games. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, would you kindly leave a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.